everyone, welcome back to another video. This is Julio with JZ Digital, and today we are taking a road trip. We're gonna take the 570 up to Virginia to put it on the dyno. I'll go over everything that he did to it. Hopefully he'll let us film there. I'm taking it to Suicide Cycles. I'll put the link in the description below. If you guys have any questions, his name is Mike Overby. He totally redid my engine. Let's get on the road. All right guys, we got the GPS coordinates locked in. It's gonna be about a 2.5 hour drive. I'm gonna catch you guys at the gas station. All right, I'm probably gonna go inside and get some Subway. So the appointment that I got with him is gonna be at 1 o'clock. I need to be there no sooner than 1 o'clock. He's on a tight schedule, so I'm gonna go ahead and put fuel into the Can-Am as well. Supposed to only use 93.5 110, I think, racing fuel. We're gonna see, because I think that's like $18 a gallon. I ain't trying to do all that. Let me get lettuce, pickles, a few more pickles on there, mustard, oil and vinegar, salt and pepper. Little backstory on the 570s. When I bought the bike, it already had the big bore kit. It was already an 860. It had a ton of power. When I bought it, I didn't really know what I was getting into. I told myself I would never buy a snorkeled four-wheeler, and there was a reason for that. Because you never know how it's treated, what's wrong with it, yada, yada, yada. But I thought it was a good investment. I was gonna fix it up, turn around and sell it. There was a few problems with it that I knew I could do by myself. I don't know if you've been keeping up with my videos, but in a few of the videos, something kept going wrong with it. Four-wheel drive kept coming out in one video. It was just a mess. I kept popping it back in. Finally, I was at Busco Beach. I got really, really stuck. When I went to put it in reverse, the engine kept twisting on me. This is before I knew the upper motor mount on my bike was broke when I bought it. That caused a lot of problems. That $10 motor mount has cost me so much money. I had it in reverse. The engine just shifted. And when it did that, it pulled the throttle body open. So the throttle body is like this. It shifted it and it left it open. We were so stuck, I had to get a razor to pull me out. It was horrible. At that time, Busco had been flooded really, really bad almost everywhere. So we went up the hill to come back down towards the trees. Water actually got into the throttle body. It cut off. I didn't think anything of it. I thought it just cut off. I didn't realize what had happened until I got home. I checked the oil. There was really no water in the oil because it hadn't mixed yet. It was raining that whole week. I didn't have a shop. I decided to do an oil change. It took me about a week working on it on and off, drain it. I didn't drain it right away. That was my issue. When I was taking the throttle body off to try to put it back together, I noticed the motor mount was broke. That's how I found out. It was behind the throttle body. So I changed the oil, I did all the cycles, but I didn't get to flush it out on time. So that caused the piston rings to seize to the walls. I heard of a guy, a mechanic. I asked him if he could fix it for me. He said, let me look at it. He'd done a few four-wheelers before. Nothing ever built like mine, but you know, an engine's an engine. So he thought, I don't know anything about engines. So in my mind, you know, I give it to him. He says, you're gonna need this part. We go and order some parts for the rebuild. When he gets them, he starts putting it together and realizes that I don't have a 570. So now I got extra parts for a 570. So if you need one, I give it to you really cheap. Then he asked me if I know who built the bike. I was like, no, I bought it like that. He does some research. He calls Mr. RPM and he tells him what he needs. He puts it back together, I get the bike back, super excited. We go to Outback. I ride it one time, the crank spun the bearing. So I take it back to him. I'm like, dude, I barely like got on it. I order a new crank from Mr. RPM. I pay for it. He does all the work. He doesn't charge me at all to replace the crank. He gives me the bike back. I'm scared of the bike. I really don't want it. I'm scared it might break again. You know, I said I just fixed it. I just spent $2 grand fixing this bike. It should be good, should not fail. I posted for sale. An old friend gets up with me. He wants to buy it. He puts a deposit. We made some kind of a deal. And then he says, can I take it this weekend to go to Busco? I said, sure. At 10, 20 minutes at the most into the ride, cuts off, it won't start. So at this point, I'm like, well, just bring it back. I'll take it back to my mechanic and he can fix it again. This mechanic says he doesn't want to work on it anymore. He's like, I'm done with it. He says, I can't, I hurt my back. The reason I took the bike back, because I thought the mechanic that worked on it was gonna warn, but he didn't. So now I'm stuck with a bike that doesn't run. I've already got too much money invested to just let it sit there or part it out. So I get up with another mechanic, he tears it apart, and he gets Mike Overby to machine everything back together. I had to spend another $3,000 to get the bike running again. He puts different cams in it. He puts race cams. He replaces everything. I've got all the parts in the back of my truck right now in a little tub, but right now it's running lean. And so we're taking it. He's gonna put it on a dyno. He's gonna tune it. And when we're done with it, it's gonna be a bad machine. Are we gonna keep it? I don't know. I don't know if I wanna keep it. We'll just have to find out. I'm gonna talk to him and see what he thinks. Go from there. Boy out here lives in the middle of nowhere. The road's about 12 foot wide. Barely enough for 2 cars to fit.
Continue on State Route 601 for 1.5 miles.
Let's put you on a time lapse for 1.5 miles. All right, boys and girls, this is the 570s. When you go to take it to a dyno, take the tires off and put some regular ones on there. All right, boys and girls, so he's got to take it down the road and see if it's been flashed. Because it's got the big bore kit, he said if it's not flashed, then really putting it on the dyno is not going to do it any justice. Let's cross our fingers and hope somebody flashed it when they did the big bore kit. I'm thinking they did. He said he should be able to tell. Let's find out. What do you think? Yeah, it's not?
Put it over there and turn it, but it ain't gonna, it's not gonna help you till you flash it.
It'll help what it's doing now, right?
Oh yeah, it'll run good. It's just gonna hit the rev limiter really fast. It's hitting the rev limiter fast now. I mean, it's making good power now. It ain't tuned right and it ain't flashed. So.
All right, guys. So we just left Suicide Cycles. After Mike looked it over, he realized that it was still running on a 570 platform. So he pulled up the map on the Dyno jet tuner that I had, and the numbers were all over the place. So the tune wasn't even right. So whoever put that bike together to begin with did a horrible job. Before I could actually put it on the dyno, he suggested that first ECM flash, 2 get the 1000 fuel injectors, then we put it on the dyno. He ordered a CVTech clutch for me. He's gonna tune the clutch as well. May have to go with a secondary spring. He's gonna take care of all that for me. It's just more money. It's in good hands now. Got a lot of faith in Mike. He's not on social media too much. He just sticks to what he does. He's been doing it for a long time. He's daggone good at it. Hopefully after I get this build back on the channel, content's gonna get a lot better. We're using the 450, you know, we're learning to ride the bike. Hopefully we can start shooting up some numbers. We need to go ahead and surpass 1,000 subscribers. Forget the goal of 1,000. We need to get to 10,000, 15,000. I've got a lot of money tied up in this bike. If all I can do is get some of it back through YouTube, it's gonna make a difference. But that's where you guys come in. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. I've got a challenge for you guys. If I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna chop all this off. I want to keep it. My wife wants it gone. So if I can get 1,000 subscribers, I'll do a video of me cutting off all my beautiful hair. All my beautiful hair. If I get 10,000, I'll shave my eyebrows. Maybe I won't shave my eyebrows. I'll shave my armpits. Something. Just go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Go back and like all my videos. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm gonna come back up here and he's gonna let me record the whole dyno process. There's no telling how much more power I can get out of that thing. We're predicting about 80 horsepower at the wheels once he's done with it. What do you guys think? Stock 570 is about 48 horsepower, so I'm gonna almost double my horsepower. Let me tell you one thing. Before you go putting these big bore kits, go ahead and buy a bigger bike. Maybe you don't need the full 1,000. Get a 650, an 850. Don't settle. It's either go big or go home, guys, and you gotta pay to play. And take it to a professional. Do your homework before you go and trust your bike with just a backyard mechanic. That's just my experience. Let's get this channel going. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.